Hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to Economy 2020 research paper presentation organized by Casper. We have with us our presenters Shraddha Bhatia from IIT Kanpur and our panel members Ms. Ankita Garg. Presenter, please start with the topic now.
Okay. Good afternoon to all of you. Hello.
Yeah, you are audible. You can start now.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon to all of you. So my study is it is a study about ozone concentration in Kanpur. So we will be using various models to we've used various models to carry out this study. First of all, beginning with, we'll have to understand that ozone is a secondary pollutant. It is not directly released into the air. It is emitted. It is formed when other pollutants react in the presence of sunlight. Now, the study site for this date study has been is Kanpur, where there is one station which is the Nehru Nagar station. Okay, and the as far as the data is concerned, we have collected data for 2 years on daily basis, which is at the frequency of 4 hours. The data has been taken from the CPCB website. Now, in for this study, for ozone is the dependent variable. There are 5 independent variables which are lined up here, which are namely nitrogen oxide, atmospheric temperature, relative humidity, wind speed, and solar radiation. Now, the selection of these, why have we selected these? Why not other meteorological factors or other pollutants? We'll come to that in a bit. Okay. The objective of the study is has been it is a basic study. We ought to or intend to develop on this on a detailed, much more detailed version. Is to use the ANN, which is the artificial neural network, and multiple regression models, and they have been compared on the basis of some parameters. The data looks, this is just a snapshot of the data. This is what it looks like. It ranges from the 1st of Jan. It is for 2 years. It is for 2018 and 19. So as you can see, it is for 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Like that, for every day it is at the frequency of 4 hours, and these are the variables. This is just a snapshot. Of course, the data is much more detailed. It will get stuck. Yeah, so these are the two analysis that we carried out to understand. Uh, so I won't give a lot of time to this. I will not be able to, because my co-presenter was supposed to talk about it in much more detail, but we'll quickly go over it. This is the dynamic panel data, where the ozone, the lagged value of ozone has been taken and is also found to be significant. Now, he also carried out another model, which is the random effects model, where we can see that the all variables except for atmospheric temperature all have been found to be significant. Before carrying out the ANN and the multiple regression, we also did non-parametric regression to understand how does ozone behave with respect to other variables taken in the study. So the like we can see here, but for these two, it is more or less they are inversely related. So the NO2 level goes down and the ozone goes up. Similarly, for sorry, for this is the right hand side graph is for relative humidity. So when the humidity is up, the ozone level is actually down. This came as a surprise to us, like as somebody who's not from the sciences or atmospheric chemistry, we thought they would be positively related. And when we went deeper to know why does this happen, there was a concept called as dry deposition, which is being cited by some of the studies, that when the humidity is very high, what do trees do is they open up their stomata, which are the pores that they have on their leaves. So when they open their stomata, by default, they end up taking a lot of ozone from the atmosphere. And for these three, the other three independent variables, namely solar radiation, wind speed, and the graph in the bottom middle, atmospheric temperature, it is seen to be more or less upward going. Now, we've just put, owing to the time, we put two major literature reviews. One is by Dinesh Mishra, where he looks at the NO2 prediction in the area where Taj Mahal in Agra is located. So for him, he also took up two of these models. He took up a multi-layer perceptron neural network and the other being multiple linear regression, and found that the multiple perceptron in this case perform better than the multiple linear regression. The second literature, which is by Fujita and KB, they look at both NO2 and ozone concentration in the area of Vijayawada. Their study was for 4 years, which was from 2019 to 13. So for as far as our methodology is concerned, we have taken two. In total, we have 5 models. 3 of them are based on the multiple regression. So the first model has the input variables atmospheric AT, RH, WS, SR, atmospheric temperature, relative humidity, wind speed, and solar radiation. The model 2, so these are mainly the meteorological variables. In model 2, we add NO2 plus the other meteorological variables. Model 3, we have everything, and we also add the previous level ozone concentration. Now, for the neural network, we have 2 models based on neural network. So one is about the meteorological factors, the other is about meteorological factors NO2 and the previous level ozone. So a neural network is a machine learning technique that follows the way our brain works. It is based on that. The idea is to be able to recognize patterns, images, audios, or videos. So what happens is there is an input layer, there is an output layer, and there are hidden layers. Hidden layers could be one or more. So the input layers have there is a weight assigned to the input layers, which is every input is multiplied by that weight, and the weighted sum is carried forward to the other next neuron, which is the neurons in the hidden layer. There, an activation function is applied, and the activation function actually transforms the weighted sum. So there are various activation functions that are the log functions, exponential functions, which can be used in a neural network. And then the
Shraddha, you got mute. You have to unmute yourself. Yeah, continue.
yeah. So yeah, So that is how the neural network basically works. The weighted sum. So the idea of the entire network is when we supply the outputs, the machine learns in such a way that the difference between the output given by the machine and the targeted output should be as small as possible. No. Yeah. So in this study, we use the back propagation algorithm. So back propagation means that when the weighted sum and the transform through the activation function, when it reaches the target output, then it is again sent back in such a the weights that are applied on the synapses which connect the layers, the input, the hidden, and the last layer, the output layer. The weights on these synapses is again revised so that the error can be minimized. So there is a cost function. The cost function is for example, in this case, we had the mean square error between the target and the output, the predicted output that has to be minimized. So we had 3 layers: the input, the hidden, and the output layer. The proportion of the training and test set. So training is where the supervised learning will go. The outputs will be supplied by the investigator or the researcher to the machine, and it learns. And then the test set is where we do not give the values of the independent variable, which is ozone. We only give the value of the dependent variable, and the machine is supposed to predict using those values based on what it has learned from the training set. So the division here was 75 is to 25. uh, we had the 25% of the data was put in the test set, which means that from 1st Jan 2018 to 30th June was the 2019 was the training set, and from there on the other half latter part of the year was the test set. The training function used by us in the back propagation algorithm is the train LM. We carried out this part of the study in MATLAB. So train LM is a function which chooses, which is a network training function that updates the weights that are there in the model according to the Leavenworth-Marquardt optimization, which is an optimization based on non-linear least squares. The transfer function or the activation function that we spoke about a while back is the log-seq function, that which is one, if the function is f of x, it is 1 upon 1 plus e raised to minus x. This
Excuse
was
me,
the
Shraddha.
yeah.
Sorry for the interruption, but we are running out of time and we need the panel to ask the question. So, will you
Okay.
conclude
So,
within 2 minutes?
yeah.
Okay.
So what we can majorly see that in the given models, the model 5, which is the N model, taking into consideration various independent factors, and the ozone, previous level ozone was seen to perform better than the other models. The difference is not a lot, but then it is still being seen to perform. We have used other parameters also, but in the presentation we have put these three, which is the R, the average aggregate gross error, and the root mean square error. So uh, the left hand side is the weekly ozone variation and right hand side is the weekly maximum. In both these cases, we see that up above a certain range or below a certain range, the model 5 performs best. So this is the long and short of the study. I will pause here.
Ankita ma'am, your inputs.
Yes. Shraddha, I just wanted to ask that you would have discussed why have you chosen these variables only, NO2, AT, RH, WS, and SR. So why have you chosen these variables? And secondly, I wanted to ask, can you just go back to the regression model and let me go through the signs of each of the independent variable as to how is it affecting the ozone concentration if it is the dependent variable? And thirdly, I wanted to share that you have done literature survey of only 2 papers. So it would have been good if you have done literature survey in more depth so as to complete your paper in a more broader way.
No, because of the time, I've only given 2 here in the literature review. Otherwise, we've consulted a lot more literature.
Okay. So please let me go through the signs of each of the variables in the regression model.
So first of all, why have we chosen the variables that we have chosen? One of the so we calculated the correlation between the variables between them. So when we calculated, the variables that we have chosen were where the value was greater than plus or minus 0.2. So we took 0.2 as the cutoff based on the literature review that we did. There were various studies who took 0.1 and there were various studies who took 0.2, which took 0.2, sorry, and we decided to go with 0.2.
Okay.
The variables that you spoke about, why only these? The other major reason beside this is, for example, one of the limitations also of the studies, for example, we have taken NO2, although NO2 in itself is a secondary pollutant, it is not directly formed. It is formed in the air when certain other pollutants react. So nitrogen oxide, taking nitrogen oxide, which is a primary pollutant, would have been a better option. Taking volatile organic compounds or the hydrocarbons that we call it usually, for example, benzene, toluene, they play a major role. Similarly, had we had data about radiation, so these three would have been very good for ozone, for the study of ozone. But sadly, the data for these three, even though they are registered, some of these are registered as variables in the CPCB website, but the data wasn't available for this training, for this station, for this CPCB station in Kanpur. And
the signs for each of the variables in the regression
So-
model.
what we did was, because we wanted the training and test set to run parallelly in both ANN and multiple regression. So in multiple regression also we gave 75% of the data for regression, where we had significance and everything. Based on the equation that we obtained, we went on to get predicted values for the other 25% of the data. So we didn't do a proper OLS there. We did OLS for the 75% of the data set.
Okay.
Yeah, so that training and test, the concept of training and test remains uniform across multiple regression and ANN.
Okay, I
Because
get that.
if we run the multiple regression on the entire data, then how do we differentiate? How does the data perform when the final values of ozone are not supplied to the model? How will we compare ANN and MR?
Okay, and did you also run the fixed effects regression model, because you have run the random effects?
Yes.
So,
But we have not run the fixed effect yet.
okay, you can also run it, and you
Yes.
can test for the Hausman test whether random effects is a better model as compared to fixed effects.
Yes, ma'am. That is a very, insightful suggestion. We could
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay, I would like to thank our researcher for her substantial contribution and our panel member for her valuable inputs. Thank you for being a part of Econovid 2020.
Thank you.